What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have got a Chicago Bulls and Boston Celtics game reaction in which, I've got to be honest, I didn't necessarily watch any of this game. I want to tell you exactly why I didn't watch any of this game. So, obviously you guys know that I work full time, right? And that makes watching these games very difficult. And against Boston, it's always a team I have an interest in, just because I have friends that go for Boston. Obviously, they're a very good team. They're the NBA champions. There's many reasons why you'd have an interest in watching the Boston Celtics. But basically, during the break at work, all I had to do was check the score. And I realized I did not want to watch this game. And not only that, what made it worse is all I had to do is check who played this game. And I realized I didn't want to play this. I didn't want to watch this game. So look, in all honesty, in terms of a game reaction, I don't have much to say in this one. I don't know the highlights. I don't know who had the most amazing, stellar games. I can look at the stats, which is what we will do in this one, to be honest with you. And I just didn't have time to watch it once I got home. I just had no time tonight. So with that being said, we'll discuss what I thought of just looking at the stats in this game. I'm just trying to be honest with you. It's very difficult to watch these games day in and day out. So I did miss this one, but I want to give a game reaction. Anyway, it's a big loss for the Bulls. And it looks like we got dissected just piece by piece in this one. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their game today, and your player of the game as we lose this one 122-100. Now, you might be saying, how did we get dissected piece by piece in this game? Well, firstly, from what I'm seeing, we didn't win a quarter in this game. Obviously, the big one was the 41-point quarter from Boston in the second, but even outside of that quarter alone, they beat us in every single quarter. One was by 3 points, the other was by 5 points, and you get the idea. So it's a small dissection each and every single quarter that when you add it all up for all 4 quarters, it looks like it's a pretty big defeat. When in reality, 3 out of the 4 quarters, we were close to Boston in terms of the scoreline. The second quarter is what really got things out of hand, but we just lost. We were the worst team on the night. There's no other way to describe it. And again, you also got to realize the Bulls don't have Zach LaVine in this one. I personally don't know why we don't have Zach LaVine in this one, but you know what? Zach LaVine has been a very durable guy. If this is just a game-off type of situation, then that is completely fine to me. He's had a lot of, I guess, talk about his history and his injury record and whatnot. He's come into this season and has played almost every game. So one game off, I don't know what the reason is. It could be soreness, it could be management. I don't know what it is. It's still, to me, perfectly fine. And with that being said, the Bulls, in of itself, don't look like a good team without Zach LaVine in the lineup. I mean, we're looking at the stats for this one. I mean, a lot of guys contributed, don't get me wrong. You got Io with 12 points. You got Kobe White with 16 points. Josh Giddey with a near triple-double, 10 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Patrick Williams off the bench once again with a stellar performance, scoring 16 points. Bazelis had 12 points. Guys like Lonzo with 9, 4, and 4. You know, there's a lot of contributors on this team, and that is definitely something to be very, very happy about. But again, you didn't get the scoring that you needed in this game. You didn't get the one guy that could get you to over 20 plus. Again, I've said this for a long time as well. It feels like if Zach LaVine doesn't drop 30, there's a very high chance we lose the game. So, of course, Zach LaVine isn't going to drop 30 when he's not playing. And the Bulls lost the game pretty convincingly in the end. So that's kind of what I think about this game against Boston. I don't really have too much else to say. In terms of the team stats, though, we can take a look at that. We know Boston are going to shoot a hefty amount of threes. But in the end, we actually shot more threes than them. We shot nearly 53 in this one. The big difference is the Bulls only made 30% of their threes compared to Boston's 40% of their threes. We did win the points in the paint battle. In terms of the assists, Boston with 32. That's to be expected with the way that they play. The Bulls with 28 isn't too bad either. I mean, free throw percentage, we shot 91% from the free throw line, which is quite incredible. Yeah, all in all, I would say, look, we've kept close to them in a lot of battles. We doubled their turnovers, though, so that's not good enough. But, you know, we kept it close with them in a lot of the battles, but in the end, it's one bad quarter and just slowly getting dissected in the rest of them. That's honestly the best I could say about this current situation with the Chicago Bulls. But I mentioned this loss was a big one. The reason why this loss is a big one, to me personally, is because we kind of saw the Bulls' reaction against Denver. And all I really want to see is just a continuation of that reaction. An incredible game against the Denver Nuggets, where the Bulls made a bunch of threes, and the Bulls did a lot of great things, even defensively. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. But there was something there. There was something to build off of there. And in this game, it just feels like all that momentum gets sucked out a bit. There was an interesting comment. I did read the comment. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten around to answering these comments yet, but it was from a Lakers fan, and I think this is actually quite interesting coming from an outsider looking in. Basically suggesting that the Bulls have a lot of talented players. The Bulls have a lot of players that can help you win games, and they can have nights like nights against Denver where everything goes right and they can beat any team in the league. But ultimately, the real reason and the real problem behind the Bulls is that they don't have team chemistry with each other. Whether it's a coaching staff issue or if it's a players issue, maybe it's a little bit of both. Whatever it is, they don't have the team camaraderie all together every single game to win games consistently. So talent is there, maybe. I personally think the talent is there. We got a team that on paper should have chemistry. You got a lot of playmakers on this team. You got a good chunk of scoring with guys like Kobe White and Zach LaVine. You got a decent big man. I know he didn't play well today, but Nikola Vucevic, a decent big man on there. You got a bench full of young guys that want to play defense. I mean, it looks and it should, on paper, be a team filled with chemistry. It feels like everybody should be playing well with each other. And you know what? At the beginning of the season, that definitely felt that way. But somewhere along the way, either the Bulls lost their standards, the Bulls lost their chemistry, maybe the Bulls lost the will, maybe the Bulls lost their faith in the coaching staff. I don't know what it is, but I could definitely agree with that assessment that we just don't have it all together. We don't have the chemistry that we need to win games consistently anymore. And look, I'm not going to tell you that we're winning them consistently anyway, but for a team projected to be bottom of the Eastern Conference, or at least one of the bottom of the Eastern Conference teams, we were winning them quite frequently. We were beating good teams frequently. We were beating bad teams frequently, with a few losses in between as well. But look, it is what it is. We were close to 500, now we're nowhere near it, and I honestly don't think we'll get back there. So in terms of what's next for the Bulls, well, funnily enough, there was quite an interesting dilemma that kind of took place where Nikola Vucevic was rumored to go to the Atlanta Hawks. Apparently, there was a deal that got rejected there. I'd like to talk about that tomorrow, assuming there's no game tomorrow. I haven't even checked. Man, I've been so out of the loop with the Bulls, man. It's not even funny. Honestly, sometimes I question why I even have a Bulls channel these days, because I don't know, man. The time is so limited right now. It's hard to keep up with each and every single game. But we don't have a game tomorrow, so I do want to discuss the Nikola Vucevic situation with Clint Capella and the Atlanta Hawks. I'll do that tomorrow. With that being said, my player of the game, you know what? Fair play. I'm giving it to Patrick Williams. 30 minutes tonight, 16 points. I think he had 4 assists or was 4 rebounds. I'm not entirely sure. Again, keep in mind, I didn't watch the game, so I'm sure there's something that I'm missing that, of course, someone will bring to my attention. But someone that has been relegated to the bench, I'll tell you what, he seems to love controversy, because as soon as something happens to his spot, he fights like hell to get it back. And you know what? All I can do is respect it. But I guess the big question is, when he does get his spot back in the starting lineup, whenever that may be, can he sustain it? Can he keep up that level of performances? Or is it just a fight back type of instinct and not a maintain type of instinct? That's all I've got to say against Boston. Again, I got respect for Boston. I always have. They're a great team. Obviously, my friends being not involved, but my friends being fans of Boston makes me a little bit more interested in their team, and it makes me have a little bit more respect for their team. And again, when they're the NBA champions, you're in for a rough night each and every single night. So fair play, Boston. For the Bulls, look, tough loss, no LaVine. We were never going to win it without LaVine, to be honest. Even with LaVine, we're going to have a tough time winning this one. We move on to the next one against the Raptors. That is a much more winnable game for the Bulls. That's probably one I'll be more frustrated if we lose. I'll see you guys there. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.